Hey, what's happening? I know it's Sunday morning instead of Sunday evening, but figured I would jump in here and give you an update on my Night Fighter build anyway, and hope the rest of you guys are getting it done. Turn that off. So. Show you where I'm at. Basically, I'm done. I need to paint the tires and paint the piston on the struts and dull coat it and do final assembly, and that's it. So I'm done. I'm pretty much done. As far as I can tell anyway. So let me move this off to the side here. And I'll talk about this thing while I'm painting my tires. Ooh, should I use my marker for my tires? I probably shouldn't. But I might, because I'm lazy like that. Just need to touch that edge up. Now this is an old Sanford permanent marker, and I think water resistant, tube made in Canada. See, the newer ones are alcohol based, but the older ones used to be toluene or something, or benzene or something, and those actually were permanent. But anyway, so I just use those once in a while to do quick stuff like that. So there's really only a couple of things here that don't have paint. And these little guys I can paint in place, so I'm not worried about those. And the rest of this stuff is all done. I can touch up though. This is the strut for to hold the nose down, and I forgot to put the nose weight in it. So I don't know whether I'm going to use that one or make a different one or whatever. So anyway, all I really need to do is I need these pieces, and I can get all this stuff out of the way, and yeah, so this is it. So first things first, I'm going to do these tires. Best thing to do is get you a good, decent sized brush. You want something that holds paint. Contrary to popular belief, really small paintbrushes aren't helping you because they don't hold any paint. And you need a brush to hold paint because you can't paint if there's no paint in the brush, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So let me see here. I'm just checking this brush. It's pretty beat up on the ends. Whoa. What else do I got here that might not be so beat up? Nothing really. You know what? It'll work. It'll do the job. So the question is, what do you use? Do you use flat black? Do you use a super dark gray? What do you use? Well, I'm going to use flat black on this one because everything's so dark, and I need some contrast. Typically what I like to use is like a Panzer Gray. But I'm not going to do that this time. But since I'm not really worried about it being pure, I'm just going to use this tin that I have over here. Make sure it's mixed up good. Pour a little bit of it down in here. As you can see, that stuff's pretty thick. So I'm going to come over here, grab some of this thinner, put some thinner over here in this one. And I'm only using this because it was sitting right here. This is Tesser's airbrush thinner, but it doesn't really matter what you got. Oh, somebody's coming down the stairs. Okay.
Howdy there.
Hi, John. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to put this out here. You need to get this stuff thinned out enough to where it flows well, but not too well, right? That seems pretty good. And it is. And if you get your paint thinned correctly, this is really simple. Now this is enamel. Which is, you may or may not know, is my poison of choice. But, like I've said in the last few videos on the S16, I really am impressed with the Vallejo model air. And I've never been impressed. I've never been impressed with acrylics until I've seen until I've used the model air, and that stuff is pretty good. Okay. Now, I need this. And I'm going to put this in here. And here's one here. And we'll put this in here. Okay. So now we'll do the insides. See how I've got my arms braced on the edge of the table here? Ideally, you know, it works better. Well, not always, but a lot of times it's better when you have the part sitting on the table or in something that's holding it stationary. But in this case, this is working. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on here for right now. So the whole trick to this, well, there's two things. One, you need a part that has some relief like this does, that has an edge. And two is, it's the thin paint. This has nothing to do with skill. This is all about the relief and the paint being the right consistency. It has nothing to do with how steady my hands are, because they're not. Like a lot of things in life, it's all about the tools, right? Even though people will tell you, no, that's not true. The tools don't matter, it's the person. Well, both things are true. The tools do matter, and the person does matter too. Now this is not the relief wasn't as good on that as it was on the other, but we got it done. So this has got a hole all the way through, so this is helpful. And yeah, I could airbrush this, but there's no point. No point in airbrushing this. Okay. I don't know if you can see, but I put that on a little too wet, and it started to eat the primer underneath of it right there. But that's, you know, easy to fix. That was because when I dipped the brush in the thinner, I didn't mix it in well enough with the paint, so I had too much thinner on it, on the brush. Okay, moving on. Okay, there's the tires. Anything else we need to touch up with black? Not that I can see. Loud, obnoxious people upstairs. That's all I got to say about that. Loud, obnoxious people. So once I get done with this this build here, all this stuff's going in acetone and getting cleaned out. These little metal trays, these happen to be Tamiya box, but I'm sure there's other boxes, but they're quite nice to have around, and when they get all dirty like that, you just throw them in some acetone and wipe them out. Pretty good pretty good deal, I think, anyway. Okay. The infamous Molotov pen, chrome pen. Excuse me. Hiccup, hiccup. Let's see if we can get in here. Wow, that's really rough. And so is that. Hang on. First things first. What am I looking for? Oh, this. The paint was dry when it landed on this, so these struts are probably gonna get extremely touched up. But right now, I'm just gonna knock the rough parts off of the actually the piston shaft, and then go from there. Brush this stuff out. Okay, now see if we got some coverage. See if we can get some coverage out of this thing. I think I might be running out here. I might need a refill, and they actually make refills, bottles of this stuff for refill. Yeah, that's really rough. Oh well. Yeah, I should have went with the paintbrush, I think. Should have went with the old chrome silver enamel. I think I'm empty. I think I'm empty. Okay. No point in wasting my time. Hang on, I'll be right back. There we go. If I can get it open. Good old standby. Now this stuff you can typically paint right out of the jar lid. And it goes on just fine. Boom. And a boom. And boom. Okay. Now, you know, I'm not fooling myself here. This is nowhere near a contest winner. And that's never the intent, at least not in my workshop. There are things that I work harder on than other things. There are things that are more important than other things to me that I'm working on, and I've said many times, this is my fun zone. This is what I do to unwind from all of this stuff. So I don't really worry about stuff too much. You know, I'm more about getting stuff completed than getting stuff perfect, and even more so the older I get. And is that another ram right there? What is that? No, I don't think so. Anyway, so point being is I'm a hack, and I know I'm a hack, and that's the way I do this, because it's about turning my brain off and not having to deal with hundreds of thousands and you know, crap like that. So anyway, that's it for now. I think I'm gonna go. Well, I gotta go do some shopping or something, and this paint's got to dry anyway. So So tonight on the live stream, it'll be done. You get to see it done. So that's pretty cool, and then we'll go from there, huh? What am I doing? All right, that's it for this one. Take care of the people you love, and we will see you tonight. All right, bye now.